But we all have to do reality checks every now and then. We have to look at where we are, where we stand. Has anything changed to cause us to revisit? Sometimes we get so caught up in the servicing our customers, and do we take time to go back and look at, revisit that purpose? Why we started this business? What made us decide to choose certain products? Our audience. So I'm gonna give you some things that I want you to reflect on, revisit, and do a reality check before we get into 2022, before you find yourself going after markets that may no longer exist. Your purpose may have shifted, your landscape may have changed. So do these reality checks. First of all, let's re-examine your purpose. You need to remind yourself every now and then why you decided to get in this business. Now, sometimes that doesn't change. Sometimes conditions around you may change. Certain elements may change. But if you are true to your purpose, sometimes you have to go back and remind yourself, why did I start this business? What is my mission? What is my raison d'etre, my cause célèbre? Go back. And sometimes you get off track and you find yourself drifting. You need to go back and take another look at it. Second thing I want you to do a reality check on. Do you have the experience, the expertise, and the history behind you to keep going down this road that you're going on? Sometimes industries change. And sometimes you maybe didn't keep up. I'm not saying that you. And I know in my audience, we kept up. We didn't let things get out of hand. But you may have to every now and then go back and get another certification. Because one thing about business is that you want to be part what we call, you want to have what we call degrees of separation. You want to have differentiators, high barriers to entry between you and the others. And that degree you got or that certification you got 20 years ago, it may be more commonplace now. And in some cases, it may be even obsolete. So do a reality check to make sure that you're staying at the top of your game. That's number 2. Number 3, I want you to do a reality check on your audience. One of the foundational aspects of marketing success is to make sure you have an audience that needs the products and services that you're going after. That audience that dictates so many things: your advertising, your messaging, your branding, the product selection. Has that shifted in 2021? Do you need to turn the knobs and the dials a little bit going into 2022? Everything ends at some point. We can't control the fact that it will end. We can control the how, the when, and the why. I'm saying you have to look at your audience and make sure that you are still, with your products and services that you're offering, are ideal for that audience that you have chosen to stick with in 2021. Will it work for you in 2022? And on the same vein, do the services that you offer work in 2022? Some of you all need to get rid of some of those SKUs. That's an old inventory term we used to use back in the day, called SKUs, or stock keeping units. Or any type. If you're doing services, you don't need to offer people 50 different services. That's just making more work for you. Take your top 4 or 5 and get better at those. And then find that audience that we just talked about that you can cater to with that new selection. You're going to be so much happier. Whether you're in a restaurant, whether you're selling clothing, whether you're selling services, you have to slim it down. That's going to help you with that audience that I talked about earlier. You got to do a reality check on your resources too. Relationships, assets, money. Do you have the money to execute this plan? Relationships. I can't say enough about this. My goodness. Some of those good relationships that you had, you might have to go dig them back up. Because sometimes we get we get hung up on the product and the service and the money we're making. We forget about those relationships that got us there. Now, some of you have to let go because they've served their purpose. Sometimes people come into your life for a reason and a season, and you have to let those people go. But sometimes, and this is another reason I like a platform like LinkedIn, you can go back and revisit some of those people that actually were very pivotal in your success. And you might just reach out and say hello. And it's not always about what you can get from them, but what can you do for them and help you further your purpose if you have that purpose locked in, as we talked about in number one. It's a good year going into 2022 to slam down. Less is better. I'm telling you. Get rid of some of these old devices that's sitting around. Get rid of some of this old inventory. Get rid of some of these old relationships, clients that's not working, products that's not selling. Be more efficient. This is a good time to do that reality check. And you're going to be surprised. And also the expectations. When was the last time you gave some thought to your end game? Where are you going with this business? Are you trying to sell it? You trying to scale it? Just trying to make a living? Now, once again, I did a show on the different types of businesses, and you have to do a reality check of where do you fall into this spectrum. Or is this just a side hustle for you that you thought might become something more substantial, but it didn't? Then you may have to do this reality check. So that's exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to maintain my 9 to 5, my good government job. This year's going to be a side hustle. That's what it's going to be. Is this business now becoming your breadwinner? Is it replacing your major source of income? If it didn't in 2021, is that the goal of 2022? If it's not, we gotta go ahead and fess up. So it's not going to become that. But if it is, you got to double down and make sure you're doing some of these other things that I talked about so that you can get there. And of course, then there's another group called Scale It and Sell It. Or you trying to scale this business up to a point where you can sell it, go on Shark Tank or somewhere, and that way you guys give you a chunk of money. Those are all the things that you want to consider. So I want you to do this as we wind down 2022, is to do this reality check. Go back, make sure your purpose is still solid. I know one thing, and I can talk on this until the cows come home. Whenever I've gotten lost along the way, whenever somebody brings me a new opportunity, and you know this is going to happen, somebody's got some people on their callback list right now. Somebody's trying to sell you on their latest fad, their latest gizmo, their latest income opportunity is going to make you rich. You're going to be sitting out on the yacht drinking mint tulips and and they always got that pink or yellow Cadillac, Mercedes, Rolls Royce. Yep, that might happen, but does it fit into your purpose? If it doesn't fit into your purpose, pass on it. There will be opportunities that will come along to help you with your purpose. When I decided to write a book, it's tied to my purpose. When I decided to have a radio show, it's tied to my purpose. When I decided to teach courses at the college, they're all tied to my purpose. Okay, when I decided to do government contracting, it's all tied to my purpose of helping small business owners and putting people to work. So when you get your purpose straight, everything else tends to fall in place. Also, make sure you have the skills, the knowledge. Make sure you understand that importance of that audience. Make sure you have that audience down. Then you got the products and services to feed that audience. Make sure you have the resources, the funds, the relationships, the assets to implement that plan. And make sure your expectations and your goals are clear as you go into 2022. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up for now.